everyone, and welcome back to The Ship's Inn. Let's dive right in. Here's Lily and Julian with Getting to Know.
Hi, my name is Lincoln Madsen. I work at Pilgrim School. I've been here for 2 years. It'll be 3 this August, and I help with the yard staff and with Nurse Hazel in our little health department.
What made you want to go into education?
You know, I honestly fell into this. My very first job when I was 14, 15 was childcare. I did that, loved it. I came from a huge family, and I was just right at that right age that I had a bunch of younger cousins. So basically, any of the lessons that I learned from there, I use it for work here.
What's the best and worst thing about being an educator?
Best thing is like making friendships and being like with really cool people, from coworkers but especially down to the students as well. To be honest, the worst thing is when students get sassy. When they don't want to listen. It's like, oh man.
Is testing people for COVID at school a stressful job?
No. I'm an EMT, which stands for Emergency Medical Technician. I got into EMS, which is Emergency Medical Services, at 17. For the vast majority of medical related procedures and stuff, it's never been stressful to me because it's part of the job. What is stressful? Paperwork afterwards. There is so much paperwork. It looks small, but inputting all that can take over an hour. That's the worst part. But the actual testing and stuff, not really.
How many people do you guys end up testing every week?
Hazel, how many people do we test every week?
Every week we test around 200 people.
Around 200.
Oh wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, right around 200.
Wow, it was so great getting to know more about Mr. Madsen and about COVID testing at school.
Next up, we have Revan Snow with Music Salad.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Music Salad. 2 weeks ago, many people celebrated Lunar New Year. I want to wish a Happy New Year to all the ones that celebrate. Miss Wen will be introducing us a tradition that Chinese people have during the Lunar New Year. Let's take a look.
I'm Reverend Butler Sauce, and today we have...
Hi, I'm Miss Sun, and I'll be here today to talk with Ref in Music Salad.
Yeah, today we are listening to and watching a lion dance piece provided by Miss Sun, and now we will get into the questions. How are the lion dances important to the Chinese New Year?
So lion dance is usually performed during the Chinese New Year or Lunar New Year or special celebrations. It's 2 dancers, and then one of them is supposed to be the head of the lion, and the other is supposed to be the back of the lion. And they will try to mimic movement of a lion, and it's believed that this will bring good luck.
What other Chinese New Year celebrations do you participate in?
So I have lived in the United States for about a decade. My favorite memory about Lunar New Year is to watch the Lunar New Year parade in Chinatown. So besides watching the parade, other celebrations including using a lot of red color decorations.
What does the Chinese New Year mean to you?
The Chinese New Year means to me a time that I get to spend with my family, and it's a time to reflect, and it's a time to think about what might happen in the next New Year.
Mm-hmm. Now we'll listen to a small portion of the lion dance.
It's a pretty elaborated dance. Usually the dancers need to be pretty acrobatic. Old Town Chinatown in LA, there is a lion dance troupe that consists all girls, I think middle school and high school girls. and I look forward to seeing their performance at the next Lunar New Year parade in Los Angeles, Chinatown.
Thank you for watching Music Salad. See you next time.
Next up, we have Desi with a brand new segment. Here's Past Patriots.
My name is Maurice Garcia, and I am a physician. Specifically, I'm a urologist, and a urologist is a subspecialty of surgery. Even though I'm a urologist, I ended up after my training, I ended up taking care of a lot of transgender patients at the hospital. And I was sort of moved by the fact that they were not really well treated by other doctors, wherever they were. And this is in the early 2010s, so 2010, 2011, and 2009, when transgender anything was still very kind of like fringe, taboo, kind of not taboo, but just no one really talked about it or knew much about it. That no one I was at UCSF. That's where I went for residency, and it's a very, very good sort of premier program in the United States. And no one there really had any experience taking care of transgender people. So I figured out, well, maybe I should be the one to go get trained in how to do this. And there were no training programs in the United States. So I ended up going to London, to England for about a year total, and got training in these surgeries. And now I do, what people historically have called sex reassignment surgery, but surgeries to make their bodies in line with the gender they identify with, specifically the bottom genital area. And that's what I.
All right. And what year did you graduate from Pilgrim?
Sure. I graduated in 1987. I started in 7th grade and was at Pilgrim so I guess that was 83, 4, 5. I think it was 83. And then I finished in 87, and I was away 1 year. 11th grade, I was a foreign exchange student. But otherwise, I was in Pilgrim the whole time. I graduated from Pilgrim and went to UC Berkeley, and was there and majored in psychology, and I minored in Scandinavian literature. That ties into the fact that I was an exchange student in Scandinavia and Denmark. So I ended up studying literature and stuff after Pilgrim. But I went to UC Berkeley.
What was the thing that inspired you to go into the field that you were working at?
I don't think too many people grow up wanting to be urologists, I guess, unless one of their parents is or something. It's a very kind of subspecialized field. But speaking only for myself, I didn't know anything about urology growing up, but I did know that I wanted to be a physician. My father, the only physician in my family was my father, who was a psychiatrist, and that was one big influence for me for wanting to go into medicine. But the other was, my mother passed away from cancer when I was in 10th grade at Pilgrim. She died of cancer, actually, where she passed away where I work now at Cedars-Sinai. And, she was sick for many years, and that I went with her to a lot of her doctor's visits, and I just saw firsthand how important compassionate care was to someone's personal life, to their well-being, their sense of well-being, and their day-to-day quality of life, and how it made them feel, whether it was, positive or up or down or stuff like that. And, so I saw firsthand just how important it is to be a good doctor, because my mom was treated pretty well. But those were the two big influences. Another influence for me.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite memory at Pilgrim?
Yeah, I have many nice memories of Pilgrim. I was at Pilgrim for 7, 8, 9, 10, like for 5 years. And I had wonderful memories. One of the things I enjoyed the most, I can't think of a specific day, but I just remember always enjoying going to chapel. I'm not a religious person at all. My family's Jewish, and it wasn't about to be honest, it wasn't about the God part of chapel. What I loved, was number one, I really loved seeing all the teachers there, the faculty, the students. It felt, I guess, like going to sitting at the dinner table with your whole family, like everyone's there. What we talked about at chapel was always topical. It made us think. It was kind of what was going on in society at the time. It was stuff that was going on in kids' lives, and it just made me think, and I always really enjoyed it. I love singing too. I love singing, and we would sing at the beginning and at the end of chapel, and I always enjoyed that. I enjoyed music class. I played the bells, which is something I've never done since graduating from Pilgrim, but I never. I loved art class. I liked the faculty. We had really interesting faculty. We had a Mr. Tarrant, who was a World War II hero from France. We had very, very educated people from Iran who'd come after the Iranian Revolution, that were very educated, very nice people. Just interesting. I loved all my teachers. And I just like that, that Pilgrim really, I think, instilled in all of us a good sense of ethics and of thinking about current events and our society, and just kind of our place and our responsibilities.
Very cool getting to hear from Pilgrim alumni. Now on to Get That Daily Bread.
Alright, in this episode of Get That Daily Bread, we're going to be making the TikTok trending tomato feta pasta. Roll the clip.
Because of this recipe, the grocery stores in Finland ran out of feta cheese. Here's how to make it. Add tomatoes, olive oil, salt, and pepper to a baking dish. Then add a block of feta cheese right in the middle. Bake at 400 for 35 minutes. When it comes out, add some fresh garlic, fresh basil, and give it all a good mix. Then add some of that cooked pasta right on top and give everything a good mix once again. And then it's time for the taste test. So good.
Alright, so we're going to start off by putting these tomatoes in the pan. And then after that, we're going to proceed to put some olive oil and some salt and pepper also. So now it's at the time where we're going to add the block of feta cheese. While the stuff is in the oven, we're gonna cut up some garlic and cut up some basil. Meanwhile, the stuff's in the oven, we're gonna be cooking this pasta. Alright, so after 35 minutes of leaving this in the oven, we're gonna take it out. Now we're going to transfer the pasta into the mix. about to taste test it. Alright, so now we got the review for you. Alright, so I'm gonna give it an 8 myself. I think it was really good. In order for it to be a 10, I would say it needs something else, because it's really cheesy, which is good, I really like it, but something else, like something to add to the mixture would be good to make it a 10.
My rating is going to be an 8.5. I really like this meal. I also thought that the cheese, tomatoes, and pasta went really good together, and I see why this like trend blew up on TikTok.
Alright, this is Get That Daily Bread out, and I'll see you next time
in the Shipsin.
Lastly, we're bringing a new segment to the Shipsin. Take it away, Olivia, with Pandemic Pets.
Thanks, Ava. For this segment, we'll be diving into people's lives about their pets and the companionship they provide during these difficult times. Every episode, we'll find out about some people we know and some people we don't. Let's take a look at these pandemic pets.
My pet's name is Vader, and he's a mini Australian Shepherd. He's 10 months old. We got him when he was a little puppy, I think like 2 to 4 months. So yeah, we've had him for a while. We got him during like when it was quarantine and stuff. So he's been, whenever I'm like home alone, I'm not that like oftenly home alone, but whenever I am, he keeps me company and like he's just chill to hang out with, fun to play with. So yeah.
Hi, I'm Olivia's neighbor, Storm, and this is my crib. We actually decided to name her Twinkie. She's a King Charles Cavalier Spaniel. We got her, I would say, about 2 weeks ago. She's coming up on like 3 months, I think. I don't know. She's definitely provided a lot of fun for me in these dark times because there's nothing to do around the house, and I can always rely on having to take care of her and like clean up after her. So there's always something to do. There's never not something to do.
Those puppies were so cute. I love learning more about people's pets.
Well, thanks for tuning in.
We'll see you next time on the Shipsin.